What's going on, everybody? Caden or Klepto here today, and I got you guys a few tips to get out of every rank in Street Fighter 6. Now, all of these tips can be applied in any rank that you're playing in. Like the diamond ones can be used in plat and gold, so on and so forth. So don't be afraid to use them, but they're just definitely not needed. So with that being said, let's get into tip number one for Iron rank. For Iron players, this is probably your first fighting game or you're a casual player who wants to improve. Luckily, this is the perfect fighting game to do that in. In Street Fighter 6, the first thing you should learn how to do is be more reactive and figure out how to deal with things getting in your way. The best way to do this is watching a lot of Street Fighter YouTuber streams. Doing this can teach you not only the flow of the game, but you'll learn how to deal with certain things from players who already know what to do. On top of this, practice is the biggest thing, so go into training mode and practice doing your special move inputs on both sides 10 times in a row. If you mess up, just start over until you can do it consistently. Bronze, just like Iron rank, is a rank where you want to focus on getting your own gameplay going. So the best tip I have in this rank is to stop mashing and to learn how to manage your drive gauge, preventing you from going into burnout. Pressing your buttons with a purpose is going to give you a lot more reward, especially when you start being able to get follow-up combos from the things you meant to do. Also in this rank, make sure to understand all of the game's system mechanics like drive rush, drive impact, and drive parry. All of these things are what makes this game unique, and knowing how to use them better than everyone else is going to make it a lot easier to win. So Silver is probably one of the easiest ranks to get out of. The thing I'd suggest doing first is learning how to hit people jumping in with your single button anti-air. This button is usually 2 HP or crouching heavy punch. If you go into training mode, you can scroll over and see anti-air practice, which is an easy way to automatically set up a situation where the CPU will neutral jump and then forward jump, so you can just practice reacting to the forward jump with whatever button works for your character. The next big thing you're going to want to do is learn when to press your buttons in neutral. This could be something like 2MK to get a combo started, or a 5HK to poke. Playing the neutral efficiently is what's going to put you over a lot of people who just throw out random buttons, hoping for something to land. At the end of Silver is probably when you're going to start to realize that you're struggling with certain character matchups, or just things that people can do that you aren't able to punish. So for the last tip to get out of Silver, I suggest you learn how to lab a way to deal with moves. So it's actually really easy to lab something like this and learn how to punish it. Ken's new move Jinrai Kick has 3 follow-ups being light, medium, and heavy that either hit low, overhead, or high. But both his light and medium Jinrai are negative on block, so you can punish him for free every time he does them before he gets out any of the follow-up options. The only one you can't punish is heavy Jinrai, but he can't do that out of most moves in neutral without drive rush, and you can still OD DP through the follow-ups after heavy. When you get into gold, this is when you're going to want to start being able to consistently do your motion input anti-airs. On characters like Ken, Luke, and Jerry, this would be a forward, quarter circle forward input, or a 2-3-6. As intimidating as that sounds, it's a really simple input that with some practice you'll be able to do every time you're expecting a jump in. You can do the same thing as with Silver where you set up an anti-air practice and go from there. The second thing for gold is having block strings that jail, also known as true block strings. In Street Fighter 6, the combos are made up by single button links, and these links can have gaps in them where someone can mash OD DP or just jab and interrupt. So for this, what you want to do is to go into training mode and set the CPU to offensive pressure practice. Block strings are different on most characters depending on what buttons you start with, so just look for some on YouTube or find some on a Twitch channel for your character and then practice them until you can do them comfortably in a match. This is also a good way of finding out what's not a block string, so if the CPU's hitting you with a DP after it, then it's not real. On Jury, something you can do is drive rush 5MP into another 5MP. With that, you can keep yourself safe because it's +2 on block, and you can hit confirm the first 5MP. To mix up who you're fighting, throw in a grab after the first 5MP. This will catch any move except a DP, but delay it slightly because you can get hit if it's something like 2MK. Lastly, for gold, we have optimizing combos. This is going to make it so your every hit counts and you aren't leaving any damage out that could have won you the round. Optimal has a lot of things included though, besides damage, like optimal for drive meter usage and Oki setups. An optimal combo for Kin, where you want to only use 3 bars and get your opponent set up for an overhead combo, would be something like this. Yeah, this combo gives you some of the best corner carry in the game, and on top of that, you can do a jab into run medium kick for a meaty overhead that you're either safe on block, or you can combo from hit on. So this combo wouldn't be possible without the Oki that you get from the run into Tatsu. Once you hit platinum, this is when players are going to start mashing a lot more, trying to call you out on your block strings not being real. So for this, we can build off what we learned in gold with a block string and turn those into frame traps. With Juri's 5 MP into 5 MP, you can go into a 2 MP after and get a counter hit trade, but you won't get much off of this except for a level 1. But if you have at least one of her stocks, you can go into a quarter circle forward heavy, and then you can go into level 3. Instead of that, I would do drive rush into 5 MP, 5 MP, then 5 MK, where if they hit a button, you can go into a full combo. Second up for plat is a huge thing to mix up your opponent and learning how to shimmy on wake up. A shimmy is where you land in front of someone on knockdown and then back up to punish either a whiff throw or a wake up button. You'll want to condition your opponent to throw tech on wake up, so when you do shimmy, you can counter hit and get a full punish. For the last tip in platinum, a lot of people either like to strike or throw you on wake up, meaning you have to guess whether or not you should throw tech or block the strike you're about to be hit with. A super useful way to get around this most of the time is something called delay tech throwing. This is really easy to do and probably the most useful tip with how often people throw in this game. All you need to do to practice is set up the CPU to knock you down and then either do a meaty button or throw you on your wake up. Now when you wake up to cover both strike and throw, you'll need to block and delay the tech a little bit so that if you're hit, you'll stay in block stun and your throw won't come out, but if you are thrown, you'll tech it. You can see there I got hit with 5 MP and I was mashing tech, but it just didn't come out because I was still in block stun. This also works after drive rush and neutral with the same timing. The only downside of this is that it does lose to shimmies really hard. Alright, so you've made it to Diamond, the top 7 to 8% of players in the game, but you still feel like there's stuff you can improve on. For the first thing I did after getting to Diamond was labbing character-specific matchups. These are situations where your opponent is expecting a small risk for a high reward move, but you've got a certain answer that gives you the high reward. Chun-Li's heavy Hizanshu leaves her -1 on block, so her turn is over, but you can't press anything either. So to stop her from ever hitting you with it, you can do this punish for a lot of damage. The only problem with these character-specific punishes is that they're usually very situational and hard to react to. But with enough time, you'll be able to do them and condition your opponent to not want to throw them out, leading to more pressure for you. And for the last tip of the video to get you into master rank, we have consistency. The typical game plan of just running in on autopilot isn't going to work anymore, meaning that you have to know what you're doing and when to do it every time you go into ranked. To get this, you'll need to not only spend a lot of time in the lab and watching replays, but a lot of time playing against better people and a higher skill level than you. So to reach this level of consistency, I recommend playing in as many tournaments as possible. Every day of the week there's an online tournament being ran where you can play for free and go up against your favorite pros or just more hardcore players. The FGC has a lot of helpful and cool people in it, so when you do this, don't be afraid to message someone and ask, hey, what could I have done better here, or where could I improve? I'll leave a link below to some of the tournaments that I play in every day of the week. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found these tips helpful. Happy climbing, and make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one.